Hello, I'm Lara Parker, your host for the following lost episode of Dark Shadows. At the great house at Collinwood, the Collins family for many generations has lived under a mysterious curse that has brought them nothing but tragedy. And now, a romantic conflict has developed, one which threatens to split the family apart. Daphne Harridge has announced she will be married to Bramwell Collins. But on this night, Daphne has suddenly begun to have some doubts, and so is trying, through a young woman who is clairvoyant, to determine what the future holds.
An image is beginning to form.
What kind of an image?
It's not clear enough yet. It's Bramwell. He has a very sad look on his face.
Sad?
He's walking somewhere. He's in a graveyard.
A graveyard?
Yes. He's gone to pay his respects to someone's grave.
Carrie, whose grave is it?
I don't know. He's standing in front of it. I can't see the name on the tombstone.
At night, in the Stokes cottage, Carrie insists she could not see whose grave was in her vision. But an alarmed Daphne eventually persuades her to admit it was Daphne's grave she saw. Carrie suggests that Daphne should marry Bramwell immediately and leave Collinsport. But Daphne pulls herself together and insists she will not run away because she believes the vision was wrong. Outside Collinwood, a storm has arisen. Catherine, looking very depressed, stands by the drawing-room windows. A tired and discouraged Morgan enters the house and admits he failed to keep Kedrick from going to the police, being convinced that Gabriel killed his sister Stella. Morgan also reveals that the police are now searching for Gabriel. Realizing that Catherine is hardly listening to him, Morgan asks what is wrong. Catherine tells him that Daphne and Bramwell are to be married.
What is it, Carrie?
Oh, nothing. It was just Bramwell.
Whose grave was he standing before?
I told you, I couldn't see it. He was standing in front of it.
Carrie, you're not telling me the truth.
I am, believe me.
Then why did you react the way you did? You must have seen something.
It was just, I was startled when the vision disappeared.
Carrie, look at me. Now, you're not the kind of person who can tell a lie. I want to know whose name was on that tombstone.
No, you don't want to know.
Carrie, it was mine, wasn't it?
Yes, your name I saw.
No.
But I don't know what it means.
But it must mean something.
Maybe if you marry Bramwell right away and leave Collinsport, then nothing will happen to you.
No, nothing's going to happen to me.
Daphne, I'm so sorry. You asked me to help you, and I never dreamed it would be like that.
It's all right, Carrie. It's all right. What you saw was wrong. You mustn't worry about it. Do you understand? It's going to be all right.
Been to the police.
The police?
Yes. I did everything I could to keep Henry from going to them, but he wouldn't listen to me. He's convinced that Gabriel killed his sister, and there's no other way to convince him.
Have they found Gabriel?
No. The police and Kendrick are out searching the woods now, but I don't think they'll have much luck in this weather. Where's Quentin?
Flora sent him out to look, too.
Of all the people Gabriel had to threaten, it had to be Kendrick. And of course, it's difficult to convince him that when his sister was killed, Gabriel was safe. And that Gabriel wouldn't have killed anybody. But the question is now that if they find Gabriel, he'll be charged with murder. And Kendrick's testimony is enough to convince him. Do you realize that, Captain?
Yes.
If only he would have gone into that room. He'd be better off dead now. We'd all be better off. Catherine, have you been listening to me?
No, not really.
Well, what's wrong, Catherine?
Something happened while you were away. Something very disturbing.
Well, what is it?
Daphne came here. She told me that she and Bramwell are going to be married.
Morgan is thunderstruck by Catherine's announcement. Catherine says she knows Bramwell is marrying Daphne out of spite, and admits that Daphne would not listen to her protests. Catherine insists there must be some way the marriage can be stopped. She's shocked when Morgan replies that Daphne is of age and can do as she pleases. Catherine is further upset at Morgan's lack of interest in her problems. His concern is for the Collins family curse and the lottery and who James Forsyth is. Morgan and Catherine argue, and he enrages her by bringing up her own past relationship with Bramwell. Catherine is hurt, saying she might expect Bramwell to be jealous, but not Morgan. She storms out of the room, and Morgan angrily throws his glass into the fireplace. In the old house, Daphne sits alone, staring into the fire. Bramwell enters and asks her if she needs more time to make her decision. He realizes something is wrong and asks what it is. Daphne tells him to sit down. Back at Collinwood, Morgan remains in the drawing room, still upset. Carrie arrives looking for Quentin. After Morgan tells her that Quentin is not at home, Carrie reports that while she was rummaging through the cellar of the cottage, an old letter fell from the pages of a dusty book. Morgan is astounded when Carrie shows him the letter, which is addressed to James Forsyth.
Daphne must have taken loose of her senses.
She's been taken in. That's what's happened. Morgan, don't you understand that Bramwell is just marrying her out of spite for all of us?
Well, have you spoken to Daphne? Well, couldn't you make her see the folly of what she's doing?
I tried, Morgan, I tried. All I succeeded in doing was making her angry. Bramwell's got her so deluded. She won't listen to anyone.
Well, have they set a date?
No. They didn't say anything about a date, but I have the feeling they're going to do it very soon. Oh, Morgan, there must be something we can do to stop them. For Daphne's sake, if for no other reason.
Darling, there's nothing you can do. Your sister's a grown woman. She may do anything she wants within the law.
Well, you're certainly taking this very lightly.
Why, looking at it the only way I can possibly look at it. Realistically. Quite frankly, I really don't have time to worry about Daphne and Bramwell.
I think this is a very serious problem.
We must find Gabriel before he becomes violent again. We must still deal with the curse. If we can find some way of solving it, we might not have to go through that lottery again. We might have one clue that we didn't have before. We think that a man by the name of James Forsythe had something to do with starting the curse back in
Your
1680.
attitude is infuriating.
What?
My sister is about to make a tragic mistake, and all you can think about is that lottery.
My only obligation at this moment is to my family, not your sister.
It disturbs you that she's about to ruin her life?
Well, of course it disturbs me, but I have no control over that. Neither do you.
Morgan, this marriage must be stopped.
I am getting tired of hearing you say that. In fact, your reaction to this is beginning to disturb me.
Morgan, what are you talking about?
The way you're taking all this, it leads me to wonder what really is disturbing you.
You say what you mean.
Very well. Is it Daphne's future you're so concerned about? Or are you having second thoughts about what might have been with Bramwell?
Are you implying that I'm jealous?
I am not implying anything. But the fact remains that every time there is a crisis involving Bramwell, you seem to have the most extraordinary emotional feeling.
Well, I am sorry that you feel that way. And I'm also sorry that you can't share my compassion for my sister. I might have expected a reaction like that from Bramwell, but I didn't expect it from you.
When did you come in?
Just a few minutes ago.
Well, have we had time to think about your answer?
Bramwell, that's all I've been doing, just walking, thinking.
Something tells me you need more time. Let me take you home, and tomorrow morning you can tell me what you decide.
No, I can tell you now. And besides that, I don't want to go home right now.
Must be something wrong.
Yes, something is, Bramwell. Something strange happened this afternoon. Something was really rather frightening.
Well, please tell me about it.
Come inside and sit down.
Good evening, Carrie.
Good evening. Is Quentin home?
Oh, I'm sorry. He went to the village. A little late for you to be out.
Yes, I didn't want to come out in the storm, but I just had to see Quentin.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go in by the fire and warm up.
Is that better? Now, what's so important that couldn't wait till tomorrow morning?
Well, I was down in the cellar of the cottage, looking through some old trunks. My father had meant to always do it, but he never did. And,
Well, yes, Carrie, go on.
well, I found an old dusty book, and And this fell from one of the pages.
What is this?
It's a letter addressed to a man named James Forsythe.
Morgan reads the letter aloud. Carrie has discovered a love letter written to James Forsythe and signed with the letter A. Morgan asks Carrie to use her gift of insight to tell them about James Forsythe and the woman who wrote the letter. As Morgan reaches for the letter, the room becomes disturbed. The curtains billow, the chandelier swings, and the candles go out. They watch in terror as the letter suddenly bursts into flames. When the lights come back on, Carrie exclaims that a cruel and evil spirit is in the room. She dashes out, leaving Morgan terribly disturbed. Meanwhile, at the old house, Daphne has told Bramwell of Carrie's earlier vision, admitting it upset her. Looking intently at Bramwell, Daphne assures him that she has not changed her mind about their marriage. She insists that no matter what happens in the future, she knows Bramwell will never hurt her. They embrace passionately. The next day in the Collinwood drawing room, Morgan hears a knock at the door. Bramwell and Daphne enter the house, go into the drawing room, and ask for Flora. Morgan tells them she is upstairs. Out in the foyer, Catherine walks down the stairs. In the drawing room, Bramwell announces that he and Daphne are now man and wife. A sound is heard from the foyer. Morgan and Bramwell rush to investigate and discover that Catherine has collapsed on the floor.
Quentin seems so interested in finding something out about James Forsythe. I thought I should bring that to him.
Yes, thank you, Carrie. I'll make sure that he sees it. I am so desperate to see you again. I shall try to get to the cottage this evening, but I anticipate difficulty, for I fear he may finally have become suspicious. If it becomes impossible, know that I shall be with you in spirit, and that I love you with all my heart. Signed A. And you say that you found this in the cellar of the old cottage. James Forsythe used to live in the cottage. He may have used it for a meeting place.
Well, I had told Quentin when he came to see me that James Forsythe had once lived on the estate.
Carrie, is there anything else you can tell me about that note?
Well, I don't think I could tell you any more than I told Quentin.
If you concentrate very hard, could you tell me what the A means?
In my first vision, there was a woman, but her back was always towards me. Perhaps that would happen again.
Could you try?
Perhaps if I had the letter.
I'll get it for you.
What's happening, Morgan?
I don't know.
What's happened to the light?
Don't be frightened, Carrie. I'll get a candle.
Morgan, the letter!
What happened, Carrie?
Someone touched me. I felt someone. I felt a cold hand brush up my cheek.
Carrie, there's no one here but us.
Yes, there is. We're not alone here, Morgan. There's a spirit. A cruel and evil spirit.
believe all that nonsense that Carrie's told you. She's a young, foolish girl who's trying to give the impression that she has psychic powers, but they're pretense and you know it.
I tried not to let it upset me, but Bramwell, it's hard to just disregard something like that.
Daphne, you are young, healthy, and vital. And if I have anything to do with it, you're going to live a long and happy life.
I know you mean that.
You still have reservations.
No.
Daphne, have you changed your mind about us?
Of course not. I'm still upset by Carrie's vision, but, Bramwell, I know it has nothing to do with you. And I know that no matter what the future holds, you never do anything to hurt me.
What do you want?
To see Flora. May we come in? She is in, isn't she?
Yes. May I ask what you want with her?
Yes, since she is the mistress of the family, Daphne and I felt that she must know.
Know what?
That Daphne and I are now man and wife.
An hour after Catherine's collapse, Morgan waits impatiently in the Collinwood foyer with Bramwell and Daphne, while behind closed doors in the drawing room, a doctor confers with Catherine. At Morgan's insistence, Bramwell and Daphne go to wait in the study. In the drawing room, Catherine urges the doctor to reveal only what she wishes. Reluctantly, the doctor agrees. He opens the doors and tells Morgan there is nothing physically wrong with Catherine. After the doctor leaves, Catherine tells Morgan she had a dizzy spell brought on by her concern for Daphne and thoughts of the lottery. Morgan appears to believe Catherine. She goes to the study so that she may make the proper gesture of congratulating Daphne and Bramwell. Later that afternoon, Catherine has walked through the woods to the old house. At the door, Bramwell informs her that Daphne has gone to the village. Catherine replies that she must talk to Bramwell. Inside the house, Catherine tells Bramwell that her fainting spell was not caused by dizziness. Catherine reveals to a stunned Bramwell that she is going to have his child.
The doctor came out and told us something.
He'll come out when he's ready.
I still can't understand what happened to her.
This house. And the tension she's been living
Please,
under.
Bramwell.
Listen to your wife, Bramwell. I am in no mood for your remarks this evening. In fact, I think it would be advisable to wait in the study. I'll tell you when the doctor comes out.
I'd prefer to wait here.
In this house, you do as I ask.
Bramwell, please, let's wait in the study. I know it seems highly unusual to you, Doctor, but I must insist that you do as I say. I have my own reasons.
I can't imagine what they are.
Nevertheless, you will tell my husband exactly what I've told you to tell him.
Very well.
Well, Doctor, what's wrong with her?
There's no need to worry, Mr. Collins. There's nothing wrong with her. She's just been under some emotional strain, some tension. But she's physically sound. You may see her now.
I'm sorry if I frightened you, darling.
I don't understand. The doctor said there was nothing wrong with you.
Oh, well, he's the doctor. You ought to know.
But, Catherine, you collapsed outside.
Now, let's not make more of it than it is. It was just a dizzy spell, that's all.
But you've never had a dizzy spell before.
Well, there are a lot of good reasons, don't you think? Daphne's marriage to Bramwell, for instance. I've been so worried about her. And then there are other things. Well, the lottery, for instance. I've been thinking about how someone has got to spend another night, terrible night in that room. Then our argument last night had me very upset.
I'm terribly sorry about that, Catherine.
Oh, no, you mustn't be. Well, I was just thinking about it, and I decided that you were right. I wasn't being very realistic. Now, don't you worry about me, because I'm going to be all right.
Catherine, what are you doing? You should stay on the sofa and rest.
The doctor said it was perfectly all right for me to be up and around. Are Daphne and Bramwell still here?
Yes, they're waiting in the study.
Well, then I should do the proper thing and congratulate them.
Catherine,
Where's Daphne?
you've offered your congratulations. Let the matter rest there.
I cannot. Where is she?
She's gone to the village.
Then may I come in? It's you I must see and speak with. Alone. Before at Collinwood, when I fainted, the doctor told everyone that it was just a dizzy spell, and that was all. He did not tell the truth. The truth is, I'm going to have a child. And the child is yours.